tonight, duplicated roles, reason for redundancies. Never-ending water problems in Western Division. And Church appoints acting president. Very good evening. More is being revealed about the restructure currently carried out at Telecom Fiji Limited. 3 weeks after 90-plus workers were made redundant, the company says it had more people than jobs. It appears that there were duplicated positions, hence the need to cut staff numbers. Halitestat reports.
Telecommunications Fiji Limited was under the spotlight recently for laying off its employees. Fronting up to our cameras for the first time on the issue, CEO Motilal De Silva says more than 100 positions were duplicated. As a result, employees holding those positions had to be relieved of their duties. De Silva says this is part of TFL's process to streamline its services.
When we reduce duplications, definitely we have to make some people redundant. And this is just to improve our services. And the ultimate goal is to improve our services and our service delivery and then customer service. So we want to reduce the lead times, and this is the main objective.
Coping flack recently for their part in the multi-million-dollar FRA sponsorship deal, De Silva says there is no relationship between that and the redundancies.
Redundancy, as I said before, to streamline our processes. That's why we made some people redundant. The people who didn't have work had to make redundant. We can't just pay salaries and then keep them here idle. And that has no relationship between our sponsorship and this one. So our marketing effort, now today we launch a new product. So those things will continue.
TFL's plan is to make 150 staff redundant. Of that number, more than 100 employees have been given their notices. The company is in the process of pinpointing at least 50 more duplicated positions.
A good example is we had some, trenching machines. So now those machines are not required. So the operator who had used those trenching machines have to be made redundant. Otherwise, they don't have work because we don't use those machines now. So like that, we have identified certain areas that is not required for the future.
We also asked De Silva about the redundancy packages given to the employees, and this is what he had to say.
The packages, of course, as per government stipulated, rates. But I can't give you details at this point of time. Offhand, I can't tell you. But it's according to the government stipulated the criteria.
This is not the first time TFL has sent staff home. Halitestat, Fiji One News.
Water woes continue to plague Lautoka despite the Water Authority of Fiji's efforts to serve its growing customer base in the Western Division. Areas with intermittent water supply continue to suffer as the problem is compounded by inconsistent water carting. Bulletin reports.
For residents at the settlement along Saru Back Road on the outskirts of Lautoka City, water woes have been a part of their life since birth. But according to this gentleman, the past few years, their water issues have gone from bad to worse.
I was born in this settlement, and the water problem in this area is very poor. So since this water authority has taken in charge, the water problem is very poor.
According to Rajesh, if you want water to be cutted to your home or residence, the process with the water authority is to lodge a complaint, then only then water will be cutted to your area. This despite the authority issuing statements that water trucks will be deployed to these intermittent areas.
It takes them 3 or 4 days to bring the water to our residents all around this area, and nearly we have about more than 100 households here.
He says last Saturday only one truck was sent to the area where close to 100 families reside. Rajesh says no other truck arrived until this morning.
Last Saturday, the water cut, and the supervisor or whatever who was, I don't know his name, but he was with the truck. He was cutting water, and even we just received only 1 or 2 drums of water.
For the residents here, the utmost hope is that one of life's most basic necessities will be made readily available for them in the near future.
They said that they're going to arrange another truck, because in this area all the household they have water tanks. But the truck which came in here, they didn't have any pump with them.
Matthew Bulletin, Fiji 1 News.
And in response to the issues raised by those who have been affected by the continuous water cuts, the Water Authority of Fiji says its short-term solution is cutting water. The authority says most of the areas that are facing these water cuts are intermittent supply areas. It says that in Lautoka, 4 trucks are serving both the disruption and intermittent customers. It said that this roughly equates to 125,000 litres of water delivered to our Lautoka customers daily. The authority says it is continuing with leak detection and repairing, replacement of valves, as well as the rectification of operational controls for the Nangando water distribution system. Meanwhile, residents in the Subarnosori corridor can expect more disruptions over the next 2 months. Water Authority of Fiji only says this is due to ongoing operational works. CEO Opetai Rawai said works undertaken include replacing old undersized pipes to improve infrastructure hydraulics. He adds the low reservoir levels are due to the high demand exceeding supply. He also cited current weather conditions. Rawai says they are looking at other measures to cater for the demand for water. An additional water source is also being considered. Reverend Laisias Ratambadava has been appointed acting president of the Methodist Church in Fiji. This follows Reverend Tuikilukila Wangairatu's passing on Tuesday. As Ndreu Bukelang reports, Reverend Ratambadava first served as president between 2002 and 2004.
He is not new to the leadership role of the Methodist Church. Reverend Laisias Ratambadava will once again be the acting president of Fiji's largest Christian denomination following the passing of Reverend Dr. Tuikilukila Wangairatu. The first time Ratambadava assumed this position was back in 2005.
He has served twice as elected president, and this is also the second time he is in as acting president. So we ask for the prayers for him as well in the difficult task that he has.
Under the church constitution, Reverend Ratambadava will take on the responsibility of the president until the end of this year.
And their responsibility lies in terms of not only acting as the chief shepherd of the church, not only being a trustee of the church, but also in terms of the induction of new divisional superintendents and the ordination of new ministers, which will take place later this year or is ongoing.
A new Methodist Church president is expected to be elected in August, who will officially come into office next year.
For the election of all office bearers, from president down to department heads, the secretariats, secretaries, is done annually. For some, if they have been elected the year before, it is more of an endorsement, a formal endorsement for them to continue. So in this case, a new president will be elected in our annual conference, which is during the August school holidays.
Reverend Tuikilukila Wangairatu will be buried in the Wilevu next Thursday. Ndreu Bukelangi, Fiji 1 News.
An early morning blaze that left a trail of destruction for a hardware giant and a prominent local clothing and textile franchise in Rekereke town is expected to reach the millions. The fire started at 1:45 a.m. and ravaged both shops. Quick reaction from the fire and rescue workers in the sugarcane farming township stopped the blaze from spreading. This morning, firefighters were still putting out the fire. Fiji Electricity Authority workers were also at the scene conducting their own investigations. Investigations continue. Still ahead, the Umbati residents angered by uncollected rubbish and sorting out ways to deal with NCDs. Hello again. The Fiji National Provident Fund pension scheme once again came under the spotlight today in the members' forum here in Suva. Fund members still find the new scheme unfavourable, saying it has affected their long-term plans. Assistant General Manager Alipate Wangai Rawai explained that the old 25% interest rate that was used in the past by FNPF was just no longer affordable.
Unfortunately, without the benefit of an actuarial review, the process continued. In the last 20 or so years, reviews were being done by the ILO, the IMF, and all World Bank. They're telling the fund, telling the management and all the board members that were there, please review the pension rate. Your pension rate is the most generous pension scheme in the world. If you continue on that path, you will find problems.
Wangai Rawai adds that the pension scheme they have now planned is effective and will benefit members who opt for it.
So if I were to put it in today's terms, what I'm saying, when you retire, when somebody retires, you give me your money, I will pay you an interest rate of 25%. That's what that's. But people know the current is no one is getting a return on investment of 25%.
Residents of a populated area in Nasinu are calling on authorities to strictly monitor rubbish disposal methods. There are concerns about the way several of their neighbours dump their waste. There are also claims that rubbish left by the side of the roads at times remain uncollected for long periods. This, according to one resident, creates the perfect environment for mosquitoes and flies to breed and also gives off a foul stench.
That is lying there is sometimes it's not cleared in time, and sometimes people throw it outside. And what happens when they're thrown outside, dogs make the best use of it. And they spread the thing around, and it stays there for some time, and it stenches.
Sewak says they have raised the issue with authorities, adding that nothing has been done. When contacted today, the Nasinu Town Council only said it would respond on Monday. In its bid to further strengthen its effort in addressing non-communicable diseases in the country, the Health Ministry is reviewing its existing strategic plan. The ministry today brought stakeholders from all sectors under one roof to map out another 4-year plan from 2015 to 2019.
As far as addressing non-communicable diseases is concerned, input from various stakeholders are quite valuable. That's exactly what these experts were here to do today, to identify gaps in the existing strategic plan and draft a new one for another 4 years.
What we've done is gathered all the information, see the evidence, and prepare a draft of the strategic plan. This consultation will be helping them to look at the draft again. Is this what you say? Is this what you, with the evidence, is this the way to go in NCD management? Eh?
The Health Ministry describes 2009 to 2014 as a battleground in terms of addressing NCDs in the country. The Health Minister Dr. Neil Sharma says the fight against lifestyle diseases must continue and should be reflected in the new strategic plan.
Our statistics on mental wellness and the soaring cancer rates are reasons not to be proud. Much work needs to be undertaken proactively and urgently. Paradigm changes is needed. I firmly believe that we are capable of rapid evaluation, monitoring, and evaluation of our programs in future.
Dr. Sharma says the final plan must be localized and be applicable to our lifestyles.
It must have an operational basis, for I see far too many strategic plans falling flat at operational level.
The existing plan has been in place since 2010. Halitesh Tak, Fiji One News.
Diabetes continues to be the leading cause of NCD-related deaths in the country. It has also contributed to premature deaths. Halitesh Tak with the story.
4,000 out of 6,000 deaths every year in the country are due to non-communicable diseases. This equates to 80% of NCD-related deaths every year. Topping the list of NCD-related deaths are diabetes, high blood pressure and cancer.
We are dying before 60, it's about 48% at the moment. People dying before 60, eh? So you'll say, oh, that's less than 50%. 48% are dying before 60. But out of that 48%, mostly are NCD. The cause of the death is NCD. Heart attack, stroke, these are the two main ones. And then you have kidney failure, all the organs fail.
The 2011 STEP survey shows that Fiji has not been able to address NCDs as all the indicators continue to increase. The only positive outcome is that Fiji has been able to reduce tobacco consumption by 0.9%.
We still have a lot of work to do around salt, sugar and fat, alcohol and physical inactivity. Even eating enough fruits and vegetables is becoming only 25% we found of Fijians. Despite the abundance of fruits and vegetables, it's not part of our meal.
The report also reveals there is a very little change in people's behavior towards lifestyle diseases.
The point of the Ministry of Health is not control dying. Dying from NCD is an issue. If you can control the NCD, you should be able to live longer. And the control is just what you eat. Fiji needs to really learn how to eat, what to eat, and how to be physically active to keep your health.
The 2011 STEP survey is expected to be released by the end of the month. Halitheshtat, Fiji One News.
The new Mba hospital is expected to be open by mid-2015. Construction should be starting soon, with the government allocating $7.3 million for the first phase of the project. With Mba Mission Hospital now in a state of disrepair, residents of Mba urgently need a new hospital. Health Minister Dr. Neil Sharma today met with the project committee to discuss plans. The project is a partnership between the Health Ministry and the Mba Chamber of Commerce, with the environmental impact assessment currently being carried out. The new 55-bed hospital will be constructed at Mba's Klopkot Street. The Social Democratic Liberal Party leader for this year's general election will now be known at the end of this month. General Secretary Pio Tambaiwalu has also revealed that their candidate lineup for the election is likely to be announced after the party leadership is confirmed. Rebuke Langi with the details.
In 2 weeks' time, Sodelpa will announce their party leader. The board had shortlisted potential candidates. Some of them are quite well known. There's confirmation that this will all happen during the special General Assembly planned for February 28th.
The party leadership undergoes a process. It has a selection committee, then it goes to the board, and that meets at the end, the last week of this month, on the 26th. And after that, we take it up to the special General Assembly, which will be holding on the 28th. And we hope to announce it then.
During this meeting, they will also discuss the distribution of candidates during election. This is an important aspect of the election plan in light of the one-person, one-vote system.
The party has also decided on that. We'll wait for the rules and regulations for electoral decree, then decide the lineup. So that's how we will strategically plan the campaign and the candidates for each of the areas that they want to stand in.
Meanwhile, the election rules could also determine whether some of Sodelpa's candidates can still contest the election.
Some candidates are holding on. Some have applied, but they said they want to wait for the rules and regulations. It's quite a risk going to politics, and of course you need to know the rules and regulations. You can't jump into it without knowing how it's going to be played and the chances of being voted into parliament. And it's all logical. It's all rational to decide when the rules and regulations are known.
Rote Mumukepa and former Prime Minister Sitiveni Rambuka are the front-runners for the party's leadership position. Nrebuke Langi, Fiji One News.
A memorandum of understanding was signed between the Ministry of Fisheries and the Fiji Ports Corporation Limited today. This new partnership is expected to foster better communication between the two organizations in the monitoring of fishing vessels. The MOU will enable the monitoring, control and surveillance of vessels to help stop illegal vessels from fishing in Fiji waters.
For the work that we'll be doing together for the fishing industry, as well as the IUU that we would like to combat. In the agreement that there are roles that the Fisheries Department will be playing, as well as the Ports Authority Corporation.
The public is expected to get feedback from both parties in the coming months. The issue of licenses to fishing vessels topping the agenda as authorities try to help our ailing tuna industry. Today's agreement will only deal with fishing issues that are within Fiji's exclusive economic zone.
All fishing countries internationally are dealing with is the IUU fishing. This is one area where we will work together to ensure that this is eliminated or removed within our fishing area in Fiji.
A new working committee set up by the Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption to look at government tenders will be named next month. This committee will look at the transparency of the tender processes set out by government ministries. FICAC says that in the past, some tenders were awarded without any proper checks and balances.
Is to have a working committee, and this is we hope to launch in March. We're working towards it. The committee has been formed. It's just a matter of getting them and introducing them. And these are the people who are going to be looking at all the recommendations in as far as government projects, implementation of government projects are concerned.
The working committee is also expected to work closely with those awarded with the tenders to ensure that they fulfill the scope of work set out in their applications.
But where we would like to involve the public, the end users of all the things that we're doing, civil society organizations, non-governmental organizations, the private sector as well. Tentatively, that's the plan that we're currently working on right now for the proposed date is May.
Stay with us, we'll go to our Pacific segment after the break.